The smartphone world is about to take another big leap forward. Every year, technology enthusiasts wait eagerly to see what the next flagship device will bring. And when it comes to Samsung's Ultra series, the anticipation is even greater. The Galaxy Ultra models have always stood for power, innovation, and the very best Samsung has to offer. Now, all eyes are on the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Rumors, leaks, and reports are painting a picture of a device that could redefine what we expect from a smartphone in 2026. Let's take a closer look at everything we know so far. We'll go step by step, breaking down the design, the cameras, the performance, the battery, and even the expected price and release timeline. This will give us a complete picture of why the S26 Ultra could become the most talked about phone of the year. The legacy of the Ultra line. To understand the excitement behind the S26 Ultra, we need to remind ourselves of the Ultra's history. The Ultra models are not just phones. They are statements. Every Ultra release pushes Samsung's limits. Bigger displays, higher megapixels, stronger batteries, and unique features like the S Pen. For many, the Ultra represents the peak of Android engineering. The S21 Ultra introduced bold design choices and groundbreaking cameras. The S22 Ultra fully embraced the DNA of the Note series, bringing the S Pen inside the body. The S23 Ultra refined performance and stability. The S24 Ultra polished things further with improved AI features. The S25 Ultra cemented Samsung's dominance in high-end photography. Now, the S26 Ultra carries all that legacy, with the pressure of not just continuing the tradition, but also surpassing it. First rumors, a return of the camera island. One of the biggest talking points about the S26 Ultra is its design. For the past few generations, Samsung's Ultra models have used a floating lens design. The lenses simply protruded out of the back panel without any connected housing. Some users loved the minimalism, while others felt it lacked character. But now, according to new reports from South Korea, the Galaxy S26 Ultra may bring back a camera island. For those who remember, the S21 Ultra had a unified camera housing that blended into the frame. The idea of a camera island returning means Samsung could be preparing for larger and more advanced sensors that require extra structural support. Why is this important? Because design is not just about looks. It's also about functionality. A camera island can provide better stability for bigger lenses. It can help reduce wobble when the phone is placed on a flat surface. It can also signal to buyers that Samsung is introducing something truly new in the photography department. Major camera upgrades. And this brings us to the cameras. The Ultra line has always pushed boundaries here. The S20 Ultra stunned the world with its 108-megapixel sensor. The S22 Ultra and S23 Ultra doubled down on zoom and clarity. The S25 Ultra reached 200 megapixels with Samsung's own ISOCELL sensor. But now, for the S26 Ultra, Samsung may be switching suppliers. Reports suggest the new main sensor will still be 200 megapixels, but this time it could be a Sony sensor, not an ISOCELL. This change alone could bring different processing, better color accuracy, and more dynamic range. Sony sensors are well known in the industry for professional quality, and Samsung adopting one for its flagship is a huge move. But that's not all. The S26 Ultra is rumored to feature a quad-camera setup with a 200MP main camera, Sony sensor, a 50MP ultra-wide camera, a 50MP periscope telephoto lens, a 12MP secondary telephoto shooter. This setup is ambitious. Two different telephoto cameras mean Samsung is doubling down on zoom performance. One could be optimized for medium zoom, while the other for extreme zoom. This would give users unmatched flexibility when shooting far-away objects, landscapes, or even sports events. Another rumor suggests that the telephoto camera might have a wider aperture, allowing more light to enter the lens. This would make low-light shots clearer and sharper. Combined with Samsung's processing power, night photography on the S26 Ultra could be incredible. Performance under the hood. Of course, cameras are only part of the story. A flagship must also deliver blazing speed. And for the S26 Ultra, all signs point to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 chipset. This processor is expected to be built on TSMC's advanced 3nm process. That means smaller transistors, lower power consumption, and more raw performance. This chip should deliver smoother multitasking, faster app launches, and better efficiency. Gamers will especially benefit. Expect ultra-high frame rates, console-like graphics, and less heat during long sessions. Speaking of heat, Samsung is also rumored to be enlarging the vapor chamber cooling system by around 20%. This will help keep the phone cooler under heavy load, something that users of the S25 Ultra already appreciated. If true, the S26 Ultra could be one of the most thermally stable flagships ever made. Battery and charging. Now let's talk about the battery. Here, the story is a mix of good news and cautious expectations. One certification leak suggests the S26 Ultra will stick with a 5000 mAh battery, the same as the S25 Ultra. This might disappoint some users who were hoping for more. But remember, efficiency improvements in the chipset can often give better real-world results even if the capacity stays the same. Other rumors, however, point to a possible 5500 mAh battery in some versions of the phone. If true, this would be the largest battery ever in a Galaxy Ultra. It would easily power through a day of heavy use and possibly stretch to 2 days for moderate users. Charging is another area of interest. The S26 Ultra is expected to feature 65W fast charging. This is a big step up from previous Ultra models. It could mean going from 0 to a full charge in less than an hour. Combine that with wireless charging improvements, and the S26 Ultra would finally compete with some Chinese brands that already offer blazing charging speeds. Software and AI features. No Samsung flagship is complete without software innovations. While we don't have complete details yet, it's expected that the S26 Ultra will run One UI 8 based on Android 16. Samsung has been heavily investing in AI features recently. From image editing to real-time translation, AI is becoming central to the smartphone experience. We can expect even more advanced AI tools on the S26 Ultra. Smarter camera modes, better voice assistance, and improved multitasking features are almost guaranteed. Samsung could also integrate new AI-driven battery optimizations to stretch usage further. Release date and pricing. So, when will we see this phone? Based on Samsung's usual schedule, the Galaxy S26 series is expected in early January 2026. This has become the company's tradition, launching just before competitors like Apple release their spring updates. As for price, leaks suggest the S26 Ultra could start around $1,800 for the base model with 16GB RAM and 256GB storage. That's a huge amount of money, no doubt. But considering the technology packed inside, Samsung knows its audience is willing to pay for the best. Building the hype. As we look ahead, the S26 Ultra is shaping up to be both exciting and controversial. On one hand, we have incredible upgrades like the Sony 200MP sensor, dual telephoto cameras, possible larger battery, faster charging, and a new Snapdragon chip.